Listen now, we the talk around town. Alex threw the ball to Smokey for a touchdown. It's fourth down and you don't really want no more. We've been winning from the door. You should check the scoreboard. Check the scoreboard.
Welcome back to another episode of the Scoreboard. We are almost halfway through the XFL's first inaugural season. Got some surprising games last week. No denying that it's been a bit of a shocker in some of these games. So maybe some of the things we talked about last week, the previous weeks, haven't quite confirmed themselves the way we would expect them to. So a little bit of a curveball we've gotten, and we're going to talk about that, and we're going to go into predictions for this week, which I can take that away, are going to be all over the place, and there are going to be some tough decisions to be made. But Smokey, first of all, how did we do the past 2 weeks, and what's the current standings looking over the season?
Well, 2 weeks ago, I ended up with 2. You ended up with 2, Alex, and JJ ended up with 1, which brought the totals to 7, 8, and 8. Wow. JJ, you're losing your lead, man. I'm
noticing.
This past week was, I guess, my best week. I ended up with 3 correct predictions, and you guys tied at 2 each. So, as of now, we are all tied at 10.
At 10.
Wow. Couldn't be more perfect, I guess, huh? After 5 weeks.
No.
Which means we're also completely 500 in our pick.
500. Yes.
Which I guess is good in a way, because we're picking with the spread, so it's designed to be exactly that way.
Yes.
But we also, I think, want to beat that. So maybe in the second half of the season, try to do a bit better. But,
well, I mean, last week I was still very confident in what I was picking, and fuck's sake.
And this week we have no idea.
What happened?
A lot of things happen. What game do you want to talk about, JJ?
Oh God, I don't
want to talk about your favorite Battlehawks?
Battlehawks?
I mean, that's definitely, I guess, on the list of things that should be.
That's the reason I didn't ask Smokey how he was doing today.
You knew what I was going to say.
I didn't ask you how you're doing. Because I know the line that was going to come up, and I wasn't trying to have it, so I was like, no, we're coming right into it.
I was ready to throw that out there for sure.
Yeah, we're not doing it. Also, the one I want to just deflect all the shame to Dallas, basically, because that's what I like to do usually in all sports. The Renegades, arguably the worst loss of the week.
Yeah. I guess you could say that, considering the high hopes they had, but I really didn't believe in the Renegades after Landry Jones going out anyway. I mean,
it seems like it, yeah.
Though he wasn't doing too great the last couple of drives that he played either.
Yeah, that's true, and he was throwing a bunch of picks in the first half of that game. But this kid Phillip Nelson is not the answer for the Renegades, man. They're gonna have to go back to the drawing board, and I suggest putting in Brogan Roback.
Oof, former St. Louis third stringer.
The Browns fourth stringer.
Oof. Now that is, that's a hell of a CV.
That's a level 2 to compete at. Yeah.
Hey,
but
it's worth
Dallas
a try.
has to find the
Better
solution
than what
quick.
they're doing.
They have to find the answer quick if they want to compete this season. That's for sure. And we're going to get into that, but we're going to start off with the juggernaut of the league for this week. Houston Roughnecks at the New York Guardians. Houston favored by 6.5 points. Smokey.
Ooh, 6.5. Over.
By the way, the over-under is at 47. Arguably one of the highest we've seen all year.
And this is in New York. Yes. I was expecting this to be a bigger gap here, because I was definitely going to go with the Roughnecks. I was going to go with the Guardians if it was a big gap, because I expected like another 12-point favorite. That makes it tougher. Because we are in New York, and 6.5. You know what? The Roughnecks have not been winning by large margins. Let's see. 9 points last week. Sorry,
that is a pretty good margin.
Yeah.
It's enough a margin to cover most spreads.
By 9,
7 over the Renegades.
And before that,
7 over the Vipers.
Yeah.
4 over the Battlehawks.
Close game.
That was close. 20 over the
Wow.
Wildcats, And that's the entire season actually already.
And that's why they put this game at 6.5.
Yeah.
Because their
up to
average margin of
double-digit.
victory is obviously around 7 points.
Yeah.
The Guardians killed the Renegades last week. And this is in New York. I'm gonna go with the Roughnecks to win, but the Guardians to keep it closer than 6.5.
Wow.
That's tough too, but
All right.
yeah,
That's tough pick.
Luis Perez
I mean,
looked good last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you have the Guardians being a little bit of an up, of course, being a little bit helped by the circumstances of their opponents. While the Roughnecks have been doing consistently well, arguably. So, yeah, 6.5 points. You said it. It's not a huge spread. I think, sometimes I regret it when I do this. I think I'm gonna eat the points and I'm gonna take the Roughnecks.
Alright, so we have a differing opinion already between the both of you, and it's gonna be just the difference. I will, short and simple, I'll take Houston. I think that they are undisputed best team in the league. I think that they are the clear favorite to represent the West, even more so now than ever, with Dallas on a major weakness streak to represent the West in the $1 million game. I think they are the favorite to win that game, and they're undefeated right now. They're 5-0, and New York is a team that historically, over their short history so far, has been mediocre and not very consistent over the 5 games so far. You never know what you're really gonna get, but you know that what you're gonna get from Houston is tough and competitive football, and I believe that they will be able to win this game by a bigger margin. They are in New York, but people have started to score now. When in the first few weeks we had low scores, we see this represented. Over/under is 47, and the reason of that is mainly the Houston offense. So people are expecting this to go high. Offense is finding their rhythm all over the league. I'll take Houston to cover that spread and possibly win by double digits. I would have taken Houston at -8 in this one still.
Oh wow!
Yeah, I believe that. I believe that they can do that rather handily because New York is not safe enough for a pick for me. Battlehawks at Vipers, and we have the Battlehawks favored at 3.5 points.
This is tough now because the Battlehawks looked horrible, and even though the Vipers lost and they have the worst record in the entire league, they still continue to look very good somehow in the games. I mean, and I'm sure you're going to try to say that I'm wrong there, but I watched those games. I especially watched the Vipers games, and they do look good. I mean, they continue to lose, although that great victory they had over DC, but they don't look bad. Like it's like they're only one element away from putting it together and becoming a top 3 team in this league. Battlehawks second. Can we still say the second best team in the league? Most people.
You can.
Yeah, most people.
Be my guess.
Yeah, who else would it be? The Wildcats. It's tough. 3.5, and the Vipers are at home. I'm gonna take the Vipers here. I'm gonna be a homer for a minute.
3.5. Over and under, by the way, is at 42 points. JJ.
Well, Vipers looking good is all nice for the Vipers and all, but at the end of the day, it's about getting it done. And guess who's not getting it done?
The Vipers.
It's the Vipers. And 3.5 points, that's like barely one field goal, right? There's a little more, well, it's a little more than the field goal. With all the point conversions and stuff, there's definitely chances to get close scores, but they're, games usually don't end that close. What I'm trying to get at is, I'm doing it again. I'm taking St. Louis.
Doing it again.
It was
I think I've
3.5.
almost always picked them.
It was 3.5 last week also.
3.5. It was.
Yeah.
You have heard of a panic sale, right? It's what happens when some unforeseen event happens, someone gets a little over anxious and the stock market crashes and someone or the entire shareholder commune of a certain company sells all their stocks in panic, thinking it's going to fall down to zero, they lose all their money.
Yes.
And
sometimes that's a great time to buy.
I'm dealing with that right
that's
now.
the point I was getting at. This is what's happening to the Battlehawks odds right now. It's a panic sale. There was one problem, one small issue that happened last week. One little
Hiccup.
flaw in the pattern of the Battlehawks being a dominant team. If St. Louis wins this game last week, this spread is double digits. And not just double digits, but in the high double digits.
Oh, no.
This is a panic
99!
This is a panic spread right here. 3.5 points as a spread for this game is ridiculous, and it's all based on that one game. That was an outlier in a fantastic team's season. That was an outlier in the team that has the best defense in the league, by far the best passing defense in the league, a consistent dominant running game, a dual threat quarterback who's a candidate for MVP of the league. This is a panic spread. This is completely unreasonable, and JJ mentioned already the best thing to do during a panic sale. You buy it because it'll recover. I'm betting big on St. Louis this week. I'm picking them, obviously. I might pick St. Louis at -10. But I will definitely pick him at -3.5. And the majority of my betting money this week will be on this game with this spread. So this seems a very, very simple one for me. Don't be fooled. Don't be fooled by the panic. They're not crashing. They're not going down. They're still a great team. They had one slip up. Tampa's not good. St. Louis winning easily. Dallas at DC. And DC favored by 4.5.
Wow, really?
Mm-hmm.
Did you say 4 or 4.5?
Yes, DC is favored by 4.5 points.
4.5. Okay.
Yes.
Connection issues. So we got the Phillip Nelson. If they trot him back out there, the Renegades are going nowhere. And I would take the Defenders all day in that case, because after Cardell Jones' couple hiccups, he still didn't look great last week against the Battlehawks, but they got the job done, and the Renegades were completely garbage. I will take the Defenders and eat the points on that one for sure.
So you take him at -4.5.
Yes.
JJ.
That's one of those where you don't know what you're gonna get, huh? Yeah, Renegades are not that good sometimes. Doesn't help when they're not the quarterback. Yeah, no, I guess I'll also take DC.
I'm going to agree with both of you here. This is also a little bit of a recency bias, obviously, but 5 weeks is enough for Dallas to demonstrate that they're an inconsistent team, and that they don't have the class and the ability spread over the team to compensate for lackluster or inconsistent quarterback work. And without Landry Jones, very spotty play calling. And DC, in my opinion, is a much better team than we've given them credit for. For the most part, they showed it last week. They obviously are one of the stronger teams. And I believe they're going to go to the Eastern Championship game. They're going to see the Battlehawks again there. But I like Cardell Jones. I think he's an NFL caliber quarterback. And it's a solid all-around team. I think the DC Defenders should take this. It's definitely the sensible bet. If you're a betting man, this is the pick to make. Dallas too inconsistent to really be worth any of your money. Over/under, interestingly, in this one is 35. That is extremely low. So that's something you might think about. That's something you might think about, considering that DC has the potential to score big. And the last game, Sunday night game this week, LA Wildcats at the Seattle Dragons. And a close spread, Wildcats favored by 2.5.
By how much?
2.5 points for
Okay.
LA.
2.5. And the Wildcats and Josh Johnson looked really good last week. Brandon Silvers and the Dragons are not getting the job done still. Although this is going to be in Seattle, which makes it a little tougher for only a 2.5 point spread. But Josh Johnson is obviously the better quarterback. Sorry, I was looking at something. Yeah, the Wildcats actually lost last week. I don't know if I miscalled that, but this is tough. You know what? I think I'm going to take the Dragons at home, even though they have the better quarterback. But, yeah, this should be a close game, though.
Alright, JJ.
I thought I was gonna get a chance to make a bit of an upset pick here, because I thought that the trend was gonna go Wildcats. You know, you made an interesting point, right? Seattle is at home, and I would argue they're one of the teams that should have a stronger home field advantage than a lot of the others. I mean, we've already seen it come into play a little bit before. So, with two teams where I'm never quite sure what I'm gonna get, I might just take the home team and a couple extra points. I'll go Seattle.
I'll go Seattle. So basically, you both make the pick in your classic styles, right? Classic Smokey move, obviously. Talking LA up like they're the best team that have ever existed, just to pick the opponent. That's what you do every time.
Yes.
And then JJ just straightforward, wanting to make the offset pick, and I'm going to do it anyway. So I was considering this thing also, and I was considering it the same way. Saying that, you both pick LA. It's not just right, Josh? You both like LA. You gotta pick him for sure. I might take Seattle, but I'm thinking about it. Like Seattle, yes, has been getting better, but they haven't really been winning, and that's something that I'd like to see in a young league from a young team. So I'll take LA to actually go into Seattle. It's not a big spread that they have to cover, so I'm thinking with the logical part of my brain here. I'm saying they're gonna get this done. By the way, over under this one 44.5. So maybe opinions on that one.
Oh wow.
I don't know, man. Have I ever mentioned that this feels a little inconsistent? I don't know.
It does sometimes, yeah.
Like these two teams, like if they're bringing their A game, you might be seeing an easy over. If not, then we could easily be laying a lot under. I feel like this could go either way. I definitely wouldn't put money on that.
It is in Seattle, so if you're considering that, might be a bit more of a low-scoring game then.
That's true. I did bring that up as an argument for picking the Dragons, so that is obviously...
And you would think that if you think the Dragons win, it will be in a lower-scoring game, right? The Dragons probably not going to score 30.
Because they've got the weaker offense. Yeah, that does make sense, yeah.
Yeah. But if the Wildcats can put up 40 points like last week, you know, they're going to go over by themselves, but...
Of course.
They were at home last week. And Seattle...
I'm going to tell you this much. If the Wildcats are going to put up 40 points, they ain't losing.
They're not losing. That's correct.
Seattle's averaging, anywhere in the upper teens to the low 20s. Yeah, I don't know. I think you could push the over on that.
All right. I think, don't get me wrong, I think LA is going to win.
Yeah.
And I don't have a strong opinion on it, but if I was forced to put like $5, I'd probably take the under, considering it's in Seattle. I'm expecting more of a 16-10 sort of situation than I would 30-25. So take the under there very slightly, but we're gonna get to that obviously at the. Actually, let me do it now. I want to bring one other topic up, but I'm gonna do Alex is obviously 100% correct. Take him to the bank, lock him in. Bets of the week, and for every betting man out there, this is how you make your money this week. First one, I already kind of highlighted in the predictions. Pick the Battlehawks. I mean, if you're gonna do one bet all weekend, Battlehawks minus 3.5 is as close as it gets to free money that you'll ever get from a betting service. Put whatever budget you have this week. That's your bet. There you go. Close the page, and you're gonna be good.
Somebody's gonna be mad at you next week.
It's gonna be good investment. Oh, maybe, but this is going into it the best investment you can make. Clearly. So that's where the majority of my budget this week.
Hold on, who did you pick last week?
Who did I pick last week? I picked St. Louis to win last week.
Yeah, that was your locked and loaded, right?
Was that? Was it the actual pick? What was the odds? I don't actually remember.
Yeah, I don't.
It might have been the over under in that game or whatever the spread was.
I didn't write it down, so I don't remember.
But yeah, this is also not the DC Defenders with Cardell Jones, NFL quarterback. This is the Vipers. All right, the Vipers are at the bottom.
The Vipers who are putting up over 30 points a game. Well, 25.
What's their record?
1-4. But let's see. After week 2, they put up 27, 25, and 34.
And how many of those times was it actually enough?
Well, that's beside the point.
Oh, that's beside the point. Okay, so
Because
Didn't I say something about like not getting the job done earlier?
Yes.
I feel like I've said something
wins and losses,
uh,
W's, L's. At the end of the day, the ladders matter, not the numbers. So W's and L's, and the spread is so small. It's close to a pick 'em. It's not quite a pick 'em, but it's close to a pick 'em. Put the money on LA.
and it's in
They're all
Tampa
a better
Bay
team.
where they play much better.
They are more consistent. It's like just down the road from St. Louis. It's not a big problem.
Yeah, it's only like 14 hours. Not far.
And it's also the best. It's the best defense in the league. So you're not going to throw much on this Battlehawks team. They're the best secondary in the XFL by a good bit. So that's your safe pick. I like the over on the Dallas DC game. 35 strikes me as very, very low. And
Yeah.
if you want to believe in a bit of a shootout, DC defenders coming off a very strong game. Cardell Jones is feeling it. He can put up 20 to 25 points easily this week on Dallas by himself. And I'm expecting, yeah.
I see where they came up with the number, though.
Think so?
Yeah, I mean,
mean,
because you got to look at
I don't know.
last week, you know, what's the kid? I always forget his name. Philip Nelson, you know, was absolute garbage, and they could only muster up 12 points the entire game. And then you got the defenders who, in a win, only put up 15 points against the Battlehawks, which you could chalk that up to the Battlehawks defense.
The Battlehawks, yeah.
Exactly. But that's where they came up with the number, obviously. And the DC defenders put up a goose egg 2 weeks ago. But
Yes.
I would be willing to bet that it goes over this week, though. I agree with you. But I do see why they came up with that
I
total.
think 35 seems very, very low. I can see it. Dallas very inconsistent, of course. But I will probably distribute a little bit, take the over there. You can, if you want to, just play the odds, take the under on the 47 in the first game, Roughnecks at Guardians, and say it's gonna stick around the 40 to 45 range. But I can see why this is intended to be a high-scoring game. If the Guardians keep up, they might go over, have a good chance of going over, or at least get close to it. So I won't put much on there. But if you got to bet, I'd say 80% on the Battlehawks with the spread, 20% on the under in the game at Dallas. That's my advice. Lock them in, 100% correct. Take them to the bank. Easy money. Alex's betting advice for this week. But before we get out, I wanted to bring up one other topic, and this relates to the other football league, the AFL. No, the NFL. And we're in the offseason right now. Obviously, we're going into draft season soon. But quarterback carousel is a big topic right now. And we've got a bunch of big names out there. And I wanted to get you guys' current points of view on what are we looking at with names like Tom Brady, Phillip Rivers, and Jameis Winston, to name a few. So, Smokey, if you have anything on that, any news, any insights?
I don't, man. I actually haven't kept up with the rumors this week. Are there any new rumors on Brady, at least?
So the rumors basically that both Brady and Dak Prescott are basically not responding to their team's offers at the moment. Like, they're not really responding to attempts to conversation.
Mm-hmm. You really think Dak is gonna?
Which makes you think, yeah. There was allegedly Tom Brady, Bill Belichick had a phone call, which didn't go very well. And it seems more and more likely that he's not going to be. Yeah, that he's not going to be. Dak Prescott, I don't know. Jerry Jones, when his patience runs out, we don't know. Dak Prescott seems to not be responding to any of the deals that he's being offered at the moment.
Well, I do think one of those three guys end up in Indianapolis. I think that's very logical, and I think all three of those guys would do well behind that big offensive line that they have. I think Phillip Rivers might be the lowest on the totem pole if that's the case, if all three of these guys are available. And we also have the Las Vegas Raiders, who need to sell tickets first and foremost rather than win games. So Tom Brady and John Gruden connection might be a thing this coming season. That's a possibility.
Yeah. Tom Brady at Vegas would be interesting and probably a dumpster fire. But I would like to see it anyway. But let me ask you this question. Who is the best quarterback that's going to be available this offseason? Not draft, so just free agency and potential trade pools.
Wow. I mean, I guess at this point, it's Dak, right? I mean, Cam's staying, right?
Considering age, I think Dak is probably the most desirable target. Not that he's clearly head and shoulders above, but he's got more years in him, obviously. If you look at like Brady, Rivers, you got an expendable good that's going to play for a couple more years. At best, if you get lucky. By the way, what was the whole thing that it kind of went over my head, but the rumors about Brady and Garoppolo being traded back?
Yeah.
Can you explain that situation to me? Because I was dumbfounded when I read that somewhere. What?
Yeah. Well, of course, Tom Brady is a lifelong Niners fan, and rumors.
Bill Belichick is a lifelong Jimmy Garoppolo fan.
Exactly, and rumors are Shanahan is not happy with Garoppolo's performance. So, but this is all just talk. This is not gonna happen. I give it a 0.5% chance of happening.
Unhappy with Garoppolo, who made it to the Super
Unhappy
Bowl.
with the quarterback? With the quarterback that he traded for? That he got for a bargain?
Yeah.
The quarterback that has the highest winning percentage of any starting quarterback in league history over 20 games? The one quarterback who just completed his first season in the NFL as a starter made it to the Super Bowl.
Exactly.
That quarterback he's unhappy with?
Apparently.
The quarterback that he paid $140 million?
I don't think he's on record saying
top
this,
10 passer rating
I
in
mean,
a run-heavy offense.
Okay, understand this, right? He didn't win the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Well, Tom Brady didn't win the Super Bowl this year.
Well, Shanahan did.
Nor did 30
either.
other people.
Shanahan's never won a Super Bowl either. So.
I'm messing around. Of course, he made it to the Super Bowl. Jesus Christ, you
First
can't really be
season
unhappy
as
with
a
him.
starter, highest winning percentage
Yeah.
in league history, top 10 passer rating in a run-focused offense. What do you want to see? I mean, come on. I feel like we can agree that I'm not being a homer saying that the Niners front office is pretty good. Like, they're running the thing pretty well. They turned it around pretty well, and they're looking at a very bright future, right? I'm not being stupid with that, right? That's objectively true.
That's
Yes.
true.
And I'm also being objectively correct in saying Jimmy Garoppolo now is a better quarterback than Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Although, it would be hard to drive that into, just the casual fan's head. But
on neutral ground, Kyle Shanahan is not the casual fan. Kyle Shanahan is the potentially the smartest football person in the world right now.
yeah,
He would know this, right? He also knows that Kirk Cousins, that Jimmy Garoppolo was better than Kirk Cousins, and he'd be glad he got him.
now
But,
this is. To be fair, I don't think Kyle Shanahan's been on record saying that he's unhappy. This is just, personalities around the football world saying this, but...
They want it to happen so bad.
Exactly,
Is the thing.
yes.
It's media hype. I don't personally believe it one bit. There's no reason for it. Garoppolo's top 10 quarterback. He's exactly the guy that they need.
Yeah.
He is like Brady in a lot of ways. He's like Joe Montana in a lot of ways. That he's a game manager who doesn't make a lot of mistakes. And surrounded with a very good team is going to be greatly successful. So I don't see this happening. It makes absolutely no sense to me because what happens in a year from now? First of all, Tom Brady's not taking the Niners to the Super Bowl next year. All hell breaks loose because that's what Garoppolo did, right?
Yeah.
So that's not something, because this is now the thing, right? The roles are reversed. Now Tom Brady fills Garoppolo's shoes, and you have to go back to the Super Bowl if you want to do that. So that's pressure on you. And imagine Garoppolo takes the Patriots to the Super Bowl next year, but Tom Brady doesn't.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And no, I don't believe that the Niners are going to be clowned like this. There'd be absolutely no reason for this to happen. And also, you'd have to draft another quarterback next year, which you don't want to do because your team is great.
Yeah.
You have the best overall team in the league.
Well,
why would you want to go into a rebuilding mode?
I think the Ravens would argue with you on that one.
The Ravens?
Yeah.
What have the Ravens done lately?
What have the Ravens done lately?
Just have the winningest record.
Oh, in the regular season.
In the regular season, yes.
Oh yeah, the regular season, right? The regular season. Everyone remembers the regular season.
Yeah, they also control the MVP of the league. I don't know if you noticed that.
Yeah, the MVP of the league. The MVP of the league because the best player in the league got hurt in a freak accident, free quarterback sneak for a few weeks.
Oh, that guy.
Yeah, that guy. Like, the best football player on the planet. That guy.
Oh,
like by a wide margin. Oh right, yeah, obviously.
Right, Smokey's new favorite. I forgot.
The best football player that makes more than $1 million a year.
Oh, okay.
Speaking
that would be Deshaun
speaking
Watson.
of PJ Walker, that brings up an actually interesting point that I thought of when you were listing off your names. How about we send Phillip Rivers to the XFL 2021?
Wow. You think so? It's time?
That would be a gigantic pay cut. Holy.
You think he'd want to do that?
I mean, he probably doesn't, but...
Probably doesn't.
The question is, does an NFL team still want him?
Phillip
Is he going to
Rivers
go
isn't
from
bad.
$25 million a year to $500,000 a year?
Dude, I'd rather have Rivers than Tom Brady on my team for a year. Or 2 or 3.
I would
Well, but if you have to pick a quarterback who's past his prime, don't you at least get the one who sells tickets and merch and shit?
Why wouldn't Phillip Rivers sell tickets?
I mean, not nearly as much.
If you came to a market that actually cares about football for once, like he's played in markets that have, his entire life he's played for markets that have never cared about football. San Diego and now LA.
Mm-hmm.
If Phillip Rivers has spent his life in say Dallas or like Miami or Oakland, that's a different story.
If he was in Dallas, he would have been Troy Aikman.
Yeah, he would have won a couple Super Bowls.
Yeah.
He would have been an all-time great.
Yeah.
On paper, instead of being all-time great in the field, which by the way he is, clear and easy Hall of Famer in my opinion, but obviously not up to me to decide. But yeah, those rumors, the Brady Garoppolo, don't be fooled. That's insane. Absolutely nonsensical media push, makes no sense whatsoever.
Speaking of selling tickets, right? Like that is one of those where those headlines are the ones that get you the clicks.
Yes, for the media.
Yes,
but the teams.
So obviously, you'd report like, "Hey, what if they do though?" And then like someone will like, it's a possibility that this will happen, and then people will click the article and maybe they'll subscribe for a month to actually read it or something.
Oh my god! And if it does happen, you'll hear somebody like a Skip Bayless, like, "I told you, I told you, I made 99 correct, 99 predictions. One of them came true. I told you this was gonna happen."
And I knew it all along.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Absolutely. LeBron misses one free throw out of 100. I told you so. I knew it. Yeah, that's always that's great stuff, hindsight, right?
Oh, but
no, those rumors make no sense. I think the Niners front office has proven to be way too smart to fall for something like this. Try and pull it on the Buccaneers or something. Like, try to do this in Cleveland. Maybe you can like trade Brady for Baker or something. Maybe you can get away with that.
I've heard the old adage about you can't take Cleveland out of the quarterback and all that.
No, you cannot. That's the problem. But
so maybe try someone who can actually.
Yeah, in this case, it's also truer than ever because I thought Baker was going to be the one corrupting Cleveland. Like after this season, it seems like the other way around is going to be even
They're
worse.
Corrupting Baker.
Yeah, it honestly seems like the issue is going to be taking the Cleveland out of the quarterback.
Hey, he was pretty good for a while there, and then Cleveland stuff happened.
Then the Freddie Kitchens management regime happened.
And it seems...
Don't forget, the Browns are literally cursed.
Yep. And they deserve it at this point, frankly.
Those poor fans, though. I mean, come on. The one time they were dead set that we're finally going to be good, and they weren't.
Well, there's another orange team in Ohio that starts with the letter B.
Whew.
Get over it. I mean, what are you gonna do? So yeah, free agency quarterback's gonna be interesting. We're gonna cover that as soon as we get news. I think as we're getting closer to draft weekend and all the pro days finish, all the scouting finishes, teams decide on their picks. We're gonna hear more and more about the actual moves, and once they happen, we get some more news of actual, factual stuff that happens. We're definitely gonna be covering that on a weekly basis.
Before we wrap it up, I just had a thought.
Yeah.
If Burrow goes to the Bengals, doesn't that
Presumably.
Yes. Doesn't that entire division all have Heisman winners for Roethlis?
Baker, you have Lamar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Interesting.
I mean, Roethlisberger won.
Not necessarily that the Heisman has been a certificate of quarterback success in the
Not
NFL
really, no.
or anything.
Tebow.
Not really.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of others.
Mm-hmm. Although Cam Newton's done well.
He has, yes. We have to we should compile a mock draft before it happens. We should present a mock draft on one of our special episodes on the scoreboard and sort of check what we agree with our scouting reports and stuff. Probably be interesting discussion. So work some more NFL as it becomes relevant again. Looking forward to draft weekend. But for now, I think we're done for the day. You got your picks. You were keeping track. Obviously, we're all tied up right now, half season. So incredibly close race with the predictions. It's gonna be fun. You got the betting odds, of course. Make some money. Pick the Battlehawks. That's how we do it. And if no one has anything to add, we're done for the day. So Smokey, JJ, do you have anything?
That's it.
Nothing more. So subscribe to my channel, Beyond Football, and to Trash Talk Sports. Link in the on my channel page. You can find Smokey's channel there, where he does, for example, the scoreboard, but also some other interesting stuff that you'll probably enjoy. So definitely go check that out. And we'll be back next week for another episode of the scoreboard. Until then, we'll see you in the next one.
Doses.